Hey guys, so last night I recorded my identity crisis video, but then all night I could not stop thinking about how nonchalant it all kind of sounded, and so I'm still gonna post that because I did say a lot that I wanted to say, or at least keep it for timeline basis, but I did want to go a little more in depth, so I thought I would record a little bit more this morning. Guys, do you ever just feel like you don't know who you are? Like, you look in the mirror and it's like there's someone else completely there. Like, you just don't recognize who that person is. Or maybe you just don't know who you are on the inside. So, like, for me, I'm really struggling with this right now. Sometimes I feel like when I look in the mirror, it's like there's a stranger staring back at me. And it's not my weight or my looks or anything like that. I think it's more on an interpersonal level. Like who am I at my root? Blonde. And I know that has a lot to do with it, as weird as that sounds. I always feel better when I'm blonde for some reason. I guess it's just, I feel like that's who I am at my core. That's the only thing I know, really. So yeah, do you guys ever feel like that? Like, it's really hard when you wake up in the morning and you go to get ready for your day, but you don't really know who you are. So who do you want to look like today? Do you want to look like a mom? Hence my sweater. Do you want to look like a rocker? This is not a rocker tee. I thought it was. Do you want to look like a nerd? Shout out to all the nerds. Hippie girl with cute flowers in your hair. Like, what? I guess the only answer to that is I want to be glittery every day. Maybe that's who I am. Maybe I'm just a glittery person. I'm okay with that. Yep, pretty okay with that. But all jokes aside, my therapist says that it's the bipolar. It's called an identity crisis. But I just think it's me. Like, why does everything have to be my bipolar? Why can't I just not know who I am yet? I know I'm 26 and a mom and a wife. I already know what I want to do with my life. But I want to go down so many paths that it's hard to know which one will be the final one, or which one will be the one that I put all of my hopes and dreams into, other than my son. But, like, what do I want to do for me? Who do I want to be other than a good person? I'm working on that. So guys, that was my little clip that I recorded when I was just filling in my feels. So what really caused my identity crisis, I guess? So I remember the day like it was yesterday. I remember sitting in my car. I wasn't all the way in my car. I was like halfway getting in. When my mom told me he was gone. He, as in my brother. And the day before We had found out that he was in the hospital. We went to see him, drove for a few hours, stayed there for a few hours. I got to see him. I got to see my little brother and my little sister. And then I went home and I had school the next day. I was just not completely there, but I went. And after school, I had band practice. I was a flag girl. And my mom picked me up, as she does all the time, at 3 o'clock. And I was halfway in my car, like one leg in, half a butt cheek, that kind of situation. And she said, he's gone. And she had already lost it. She couldn't hold it together. And at that point, I couldn't hold it together. And that's when I knew whoever I was before that moment completely died with my brother. And I know that sounds dramatic, but it's also the truth. So we drove the couple miles home from my junior high. And when I showed up at my house, my mom drove into the driveway, and every single one of my female cousins were there, surrounding the car, waiting for me to get out. And I feel like before this point, I would have loved it. My mom knew exactly what I needed. But at this point, I did not want anyone. I wanted everyone to leave me alone, and I kind of just wanted to sulk. But I did decide to bring in one of my cousins, and thank the Lord for her. I would never have made it through anything without her. The next day, I went back to school, and I actually fell asleep in one of my classes. We were supposed to have state testing, and, well, that didn't work. I slept right through it. The teacher got mad. A friend of mine who has also lost a brother kind of yelled at him in front of the whole class and kind of bonded. But we had a bomb threat that day. And I remember sitting in the gym, and my friend was like, oh my God, are we going to be okay? Are we going to be okay? And the only thing I could think was, I really hope we're not. I remember vividly thinking, if this is a shooter, just let me be their only victim. Or if this is a bomb, I hope I'm close enough to the blast. And at 14 years old, to have very real thoughts like that, to be actually kind of hoping for your unsudden death, it kind of began to shape me now and who I've become, whoever that may be. It was the first time that I knew that something was wrong, if that makes any sense. I knew that I shouldn't have wanted to die just because my brother did. So fast forward a few months, we had this big Washington, D.C. trip that our school goes on every year. And my mom and my dad had been fundraising for me since I was in mourning, according to my mom. And she said, I know you're sad, but your brother wouldn't want you to stay home. And she kind of made me go. She made the right choice for me because I didn't know what I needed at that time. So I went on this trip without really wanting to, and I had to get out of the hotel even though I really didn't want to. And I started to have a little bit of fun. I was kind of sulking most of the day through most of the activities, but for the most part, I had a really good time. And then a boy asked me out. Not just any boy. See, this boy I had a crush on for 2 whole years beforehand, and I just thought he was the whole world. He was just lanky and skinny and my whole world at the time. And at this point, it was like, wait, me? But why? Are you sure? Is this a prank? I could just not wrap my head around the fact that anybody would want me. Me. Yeah, no. And my anxiety was through the roof. So I went ahead and I asked him all those questions. And he reassured me, no, it's you that I like. And so I said, fuck it. If this is a prank, they're about to prank me because this boy is sweet. And I'm not missing an opportunity for this to be real. So I said yes. And the rest of the trip we spent together and had a great time, in my opinion. And on the way home, he kissed me. He said some cheesy line beforehand, and it's the cutest thing, but I'm not going to give it away. That's for me and him to know. So I remember going home after the trip, looking in my closet on what I was going to wear to school Monday because I have a brand new boyfriend. And no, let me just tell you, no. That is when I looked in my closet and was like, I don't have anything to wear. So I went to my mom and I was like, Mom, I have a new boyfriend. I need new clothes, blah, blah, blah. And at this time, we were financially stable enough that she could do that. And she took me and I went to the mall and I couldn't find anything. Finally, I found a Hot Topic. And I walked in and it was like I was walking into his soul. As weird as that is. And I went crazy. I think I bought like 4 rocker tees, some bracelets, rocker bands to cover my scars. And I just remember walking out of there knowing exactly who I was. I was this rocker chick. And he was going to fall in love with me. And blah, 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 pretty much, you know. And I completely changed who I was as a person to satisfy this need that I had. And this was me. I chose to become this person because this is the person that I thought he wanted. So from then out, I wore rocker tees and a pair of jeans almost every day. It was just what I did. And I wanted to so like their music that I started listening to it. And until I actually found some that had deeper meaning and what I really liked, the lyrics and stuff, I couldn't really get into it, but I pretended to because I wanted to be exactly what him and his friends wanted me to be. So over the summer, we broke up because I cheated on him with his best friend. Call me what you want. Anyways, so we broke up and I started a kind of relationship with this other guy, and he was the same kind of guy, a rocker guy in the band, all that good stuff. For those of you in hometown, y'all know who I'm talking about. Stayed with this rocker girl persona because I thought that's what he started to like. That's what interested him in me. He wasn't interested before I changed, so this had to be who he wanted. And I about died around becoming this person for him. And I lost everything and everyone I ever cared about in the process of losing myself. At this point, He was the sunrise and the sunset in the middle of a forest during a thunderstorm. Like anything I know to truly love, this was this man. Boy, whatever. So over the course of the years, I became more and more into this person that I was pretending to be. And I would lose myself a little bit more each time he would pick another girl, or I don't know, we would make out and he had a girlfriend, stuff like that. And because I knew it wasn't me, I knew that this wasn't the girl that I wanted to be, that I was on the inside. And it was breaking me a little bit more and more. And I can't blame him for that. That's on me. But to say that he supported this bad behavior, and with his support and my love of adrenaline, my need for adrenaline, it started to become who I was. And I had pretended for so long to be this girl that made out with guys that had boyfriends, or cheated on mine, that's who I became. And as much as I would like to say that it was just me pretending, because it was at first, but at some point I have to take responsibility that I made those decisions, and that's who I chose to become as a person. And it's shaped who I am, so I can't really say that I regret it, but I mean, I regret hurting all those people. But I do have to say that I do regret the way I went about it, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I guess I wish I could have turned back the clock and never became that person, but that person is a huge, huge part of who I am and who I will become, because she was so prominent for so long in my life. And I was changing so much about who I was that I lost sight of who I was completely. But I also lost sight of what I wanted in life, who I wanted in life. I started treating the people around me like hair color. For anyone that knows me, that makes sense. And I could be different people with different friends, but for this one person, I was pushing all those people that loved me for me, regardless of who I was pretending to be, away. I knew at my core that I wanted my best friends. And before all these other boys, before my brother passed away, there was always only one boy. And when I lost my brother, something happened, and I couldn't process understanding the possibility of ever losing him. So I switched him over from someone I really, really liked to my best friend. And then I started pretending again. So even with pushing my best friends away and pulling them back in, I knew he would always be there, because best friends never left. Boyfriends did, not best friends. So I wanted him so badly in my life that I pushed every emotional aspect of our relationship aside and used all that energy on this one guy. So at this point, I was pretending to be best friends with someone I was secretly falling in love with and pushing myself to fall in love with a guy that, or have a guy fall in love with me that I knew could never love me. As much as he may have wanted to. We used each other to find ourselves. I feel like I was a big part in helping him discover who he is as a person, and he was a big part of helping me discover who I am, the little pieces that I do know to be true about myself. So I had been pretending, at this point, I had been pretending to be this person for so long that I didn't really know who I was. And my husband saw a different side of me. I fell in love with my husband and got married, and he saw this whole new side of me, of this hormonal, imbalanced, crazy, over-emotional person, and he loved me anyways. And at some point in our marriage, I realized I know who I am with him, but who am I? I started to pretend again to be this wife and this mother, and I started to forget. I never really found myself. I went from pretending to be best friends and pretending to be this rocker chick and to pretending to be a housewife and a mom. So in my life, I just kept going from one role to the next and never really pausing and saying, wait, who are you? What are you even here for? What is your goal in life? What do you want to accomplish? And what do you like? What are you interested in? What are you passionate about? And so I guess now I'm at this point in my life where I'm not pretending anymore. I am changing and evolving and becoming the person that I want to be, that I am, that isn't my bipolar or my anxiety, my depression, isn't my past or my future, but is me. And I'm really thankful for the people I have in my life that are able to help me through this part of my life, because without them, I wouldn't be able to have this chance. So that was my identity crisis video. So I recorded a little bit and then part of it got deleted, but I still kind of wanted to put it in there. I felt like it was noteworthy. And then stick around for a couple bloopers. Yeah. Hope you like. So I do want to just add in that I only told you guys the main roles that I played, but I want to emphasize that I played so many more. Over the course of my high school years, I played the best friend to a group of girls that I had nothing in common with. I always knew I was on the outside, just never wanted to accept it, I guess. But the ones that were the most prominent, the ones that lasted the longest, the ones that were most influential in my life were the ones that I mentioned before. And the pretending became who I was. I became an actress. It's pretty sad. But it's the truth. They were so much a part of so much more than just being the people I pretended with. They were also the people that I was the most raw with, in a way. I know that sounds contradicting, and it really was. But it's kind of really how it was. With my best friend, I honestly was the rawest I was with anyone in my entire life. But I pretended to not feel what I was feeling. And when I lost him, I lost another huge part of who I was. And with the guy I was pretending to know he would love me one day, he saw a side of me that I didn't even know I had. Okay, so my phone is telling me that I'm low on storage. I have too many videos. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna edit these and post them. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them below. I hope to see you guys back. Subscribe. I feel like I'm supposed to tell you to turn on the bell. I don't know. Anyways, if you like my videos, let me know. If not, let me know that too. So thank you for listening, and goodbye. So my whole plan of best friend forever completely because I was a cheating whore. No, I know.